Find a place inside where there's joy, and the joy will burn out the pain. Our opening congregational song is in the White Songbook. It's Open the Window, and our accompanist is Craig Rogers.
This is by Elise Witt, and who's well known here, and who I have known and played music with since the late 70s. She's such a talent. And maybe just two instructions. One is that between the choruses and verses, I'm going to pause for like 2 measures. And you'll see that when you look at the music here with the verses, we'll do verse 1 and 2 back to back. Then after that, the verses are just 1 at a time. So it's going to be open the window. 1, 2. Open the window, children. Open the window now. Open the window, children. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Mama and Papa are fighting like snakes. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Baby is crying like her heart will break. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Neighbors like the doors open so wide. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Don't see what to discover on the other side. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, children. Open the window now. Open the window, children. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Water around the country, roll around the skies. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Your emotion is the border around your mind. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, children. Open the window now. Open the window, children. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Some people have money, some people have none. Open the window, let the dove fly in. What's the use of having money if your heart's gone numb? Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, children. Open the window now. Open the window, children. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, let the dove fly in. This big old world is let the dove fly in. Open the window, let the dove fly in.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the First Existentialist Congregation of Atlanta. We are a philosophically based spiritual community rooted in feminism and humanism. We acknowledge this church built by the Antioch East Baptist congregation that were forced to move out of here, and that in times before the Muskogee Creek owned this land. And we honor them and all peoples. My name is Cindy Luhu, and I'm going to be your facilitator this morning, and I'm glad to be here. Each day holds a surprise, but only if we expect it can we see, hear, or feel it when it comes to us. Let's not be afraid to receive each day's surprise, whether it comes to us as sorrow or as joy. It will open a new place in our hearts, a place where we can welcome new friends and celebrate more fully our shared humanity. Henry Nguyen. If anybody has community announcements, you can bring them up now or anytime before I start announcing them. There's paper and pens in the back that you can write them down on. Are there any newcomers who would like to stand and tell us your name and how you came to be here this morning? Please rise.
My name is Rick Epting, and this is Nita Epting. We weren't here last week, and after 2 weeks I forget almost everybody's name, so our name tags are in the other car. So, thank you for coming.
Well, welcome back. Anyone else? All right. Is there anyone celebrating a birthday or anniversary this morning that would like to come forward and be sung to? I hear there's a birthday in the house. Come on, Bill. Hi, happy birthday.
This is number 80.
Now it's time for another congregational song, so please stand if you're willing and able to sing in the white book, The Seventh Principle under T for the.
Charlene, who wrote the song, is sitting right here. Charlene, I've been eyeing this song for some time. Finally, I got to it. So. Here we are. The seventh principle. So in the Teague area of the new songbook, it's alphabetical. And it's short. So I thought, let's sing it 3 times. So that the message really sinks in. It's a wonderful, pure, direct message to all. It'll be all people are informed like that. 2, 3. All people are informed.
Let's have a moment, build a fair and peaceful world that has carried forward life. All people are important, be kind and love you do. We're free to work together and circle what is true. Each person has a voice and each must have a vote. Let's build a fair and peaceful world as we care for life. All people are important, be kind and love you too. We're free to work together and circle what is true. Each person has a voice and each must have a vote. Let's build a fair and peaceful world as we care for life.
The words are not completely originally, they came from the 7 principles of the UU.
Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Craig. Now's the time in our service where if there were any youth, we'd invite them to go downstairs. And I try to say it every time I'm facilitating, just to remind people if they have youth in their life, they are welcome. But since we don't have any currently in that age group as a regular, we do ask that you give us a week notice if you're going to bring some children. And then we would have some programming for them downstairs. I haven't seen Marcia. Is Marcia here this morning? And then we won't have...
Do we know how she's doing?
She has COVID. I didn't know.
I wonder if she's testing negative yet, is the question. Does anybody know? She just has.
We'll have several community announcements. Does anyone else have any?
Yeah, but I think it's easier for me just to say it, but you go first.
Okay. There's a First Day fundraiser, Coping with the Challenges of Life. Want to experience more calm, feel more grounded and present, show up with compassion and equanimity. Join a free day of mindfulness and compassion, and there's flyers in the back.
When is it?
It is Saturday, September 14th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. right here. If you would like to learn more about Project 2025, join Nita and Rick Epting along with Abby Drew on Wednesday, August 14th from 12 to 1 p.m. at DeKalb County's Democratic Office, 627 East College Avenue, Decatur, Georgia. Anyone interested in the E-Chorus, contact Jean Heinrich. Jean, raise your hand. She's in the back if anybody doesn't know her and wants to sing. Oh, good. Well, I'll do this last message and then I'll let you do yours and then I'll have her. Next Sunday, the third Sunday, we eat, greet, and celebrate August birthdays. Join us and bring a dish to share. All are welcome.
What's that name?
18.
7 days from today, right?
That's right, 7 days to the 18th. Okay. And there was one more announcement.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, where'd you go?
I just wanted.
There's a microphone
Yeah,
here.
here.
Oh, okay.
You have to turn it on.
I actually have two announcements. I am going to do a little presentation on some New Zealand photos and a little bit of the writing I did Sounds kind of pretentious, it was on Facebook. And anyway, I'm gonna do a little show, if I have to figure out the technology, but that's gonna be on August 30th at 5 p.m. So it's like a happy hour, so bring here, and bring BYO, whatever you wanna have, and we'll share, and hopefully have fun, and hopefully it won't be interminable.
What day is the weekend?
But that's a Friday. Yeah, Friday the 30th at 5 p.m. And I guess I get with Edith to figure out if I need to pay for the space. I have no idea, but that's all good. It's all good. And also I am looking for some help in my classroom around, I need people who play flute, clarinet, or a brass instrument. And don't worry, I'm not just asking you, I'm asking far and wide, but if anyone thinks it would be fun to come in and help with instrumental sectionals, I would love to talk to you. And that would be at my school up in Medlock on Tuesday mornings and Fridays mornings.
Thank you. Marcia, where'd you go? I saw you, you're hiding. Come on up and do a fellowship moment, if you would be so kind. If you're up for it. We hear you've had COVID.
Hey everybody, good to see you. Yeah, I've had COVID, but I promise you that I have been negative for 3 or 4 days now, so I'm safe. And tomorrow's, because of the delay and everything, Chancy and I are going out of town for a vacation. So I'm excited about that. And I realized too that during having COVID, even though I really hated the fact that I was stuck in a bedroom trying to isolate, from my partner. She wouldn't get it. And fortunately, she didn't. But it was also nice to know that there was somebody in the house, and she still cooked supper, and we had wonderful meals. So I'm just aware of, once again, that how difficult it is. Folks that don't have anybody to call on and to be able to help out. So I really appreciate the fact that she was there, and I appreciate the contact from you guys that wished me well, and I appreciate that. And I didn't get here in time to do an announcement, so I will remind you that today is the second Sunday. So after the service, if you would like to stay, we're going to have a discussion group. So good to be back. But I won't be here next week.
Discussion group about what?
Excuse me?
Discussion group about what?
Discussion group, existentialism.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Marcia.
I didn't know there was something specific.
We are all in the same boat in a stormy sea, and we owe each other a terrible loyalty. G.K. Chesterton. We're going to have 5 minutes of silence. Please sit, pray, enjoy the birds. I'll wake you up in 5 minutes. I think most everyone here today knows our speaker today. He's been an active member of our community of Atlanta for his entire adult life. Fundamentally with the AIDS epidemic, and he's currently a pastor of his own Abundant Love Church in the West End. And I'm grateful to call him my friend. And I'd like everybody to give a warm welcome to Mr. Duncan Teague, Reverend Duncan Teague.
I thought Cindy was going to say that we are co-aunt and uncle of Colleen Murphy's children, which is a proud thing for me. They have become wonderful young men in the New Orleans area. Marcia, it's good to see you. I am so glad that you got to look at that little test strip and not see the second line. Hallelujah. I went to the International AIDS Conference in Munich. And unfortunately, my boss, who was also going on vacation, left COVID in the house that we rented. So I got to enjoy Munich all by myself and deal with COVID. So give Shirley Tansy my love and tell her I didn't know she could cook. I want to begin not in the most sad place, but it needs acknowledgement. And that's that Bill turned 80. Congratulations, Bill. And the whole thing around Michael Brown in Ferguson turned 10 years old. The 10th anniversary of his death in Ferguson, Missouri, a suburb of St. Louis. And I remember as the timing worked that I was preaching about young Michael Brown here in this pulpit after that happened. Because I wanted to do the research and find out who he was as a person and preach on that. And y'all were gracious to let me do that. His mom is Miss Lizzie McSpadden, and she is still trying and would like to see some justice for the killing of her son. There have been many trials. There have been federal investigations. There have been, of course, the local trial, and they have all upheld the version of the story given by the former officer who was in that encounter. For me, I don't know what happened. My impression is that he's a guy about my size, shorter than Patton, and smaller than Patton, and Michael Brown was not tiny. He was a football player, and he was a big guy. And that little officer got into something with Michael and felt like he had to shoot Michael. It is interesting that there's never a report of him calling for backup. I think he attempted to do what they had done in Ferguson over and over again, using the power of their authority and their weaponry and whatever to rule over this predominantly black community, by the way, y'all. And it was minority controlled. And so I'm not sure we'll ever know what really happened. But what I do desire is this, out of this 10 years later. I want some official from Ferguson to publicly express remorse. Not, oh, I'm sorry, but real remorse about how Michael was treated after he was shot. Some of you may have that picture in your mind that he laid in the street, pronounced dead, uncovered, while crowds formed, and if I'm not mistaken, his family had made it to the scene. And that statement about how he was treated after he died, how a young black male body is treated, is what sticks in my head. So I want some statement of concern about how a young black man was treated. And I cannot imagine the circumstances where a college bound, because he was headed to college, big white football playing young man is shot by the authorities and allowed to lie in the street. Have you ever seen it? And we ain't gonna see it. Because the mindset is that that person deserves dignity. And either the authorities or the community would say, we're gonna cover him before the family arrives. That's what I want. The picture's in my head. And if the intent was to diminish Mr. Brown, they made a horrible mistake. Horrible. Because it forever says more about Ferguson, Missouri, not being a safe or kind, but a racist, dangerous place for me. Have any of y'all planned on Ferguson as a vacation? I don't think so. Oh, a place where you might want to invest some money. No. Even though the current police chief is black, and he's done a lot of work to change Ferguson. But you have to be careful about what you do. I'm not pulling a bait and switch on you, but I couldn't let that pass. Our lives are worth more. And those images fueled the movements that became Black Lives Matter, right up until our fear about COVID took over. So whatever they had intended about Michael, or Mr. Brown as I refer to him, messed up on him. We have a testimony on him. May his life, Michael Brown's, be honored by the love and the work being done to give him justice. And may his mother and those who knew him attain some sense of peace someday. And if you have lost someone to gun violence, I have. This morning, we only veered off of where I was going just a little bit, but this morning we're including you and your family and your grief in that, because we're all there together, or we won't get where we want to go. May our prayers be active and our work for justice be prayerful. This morning, though, our topic is not explicitly about Black Lives Matter, but it's in alignment because I was taught by Lanier Clance, and you can make any two things fit. Because the Black Lives Matter movement was founded by mostly younger African American women, some of whom are very proudly out and queer. And so I'm with her. This morning, for clarity, the her in my topic, and thank you for your song, is to honor the history of feminist thought and philosophy here at the First E, and in this precious moment, while we feel good, when we may just rock the halls of history and government with a fortuitous decision by President Biden, thank you, he could see, finally, the fear in our eyes and feel the dread in our collective hearts. And the fear was not about Biden. It wasn't. We knew he was old when he got there. If you talk to my husband, you might get real scared, but because he's a neurologist, and he said that the neurologists online were starting to diagnose Biden. There is something serious going on, though. It's not just in your imagination. Because 10 years ago, Biden would have swept the floor with that idiot.
4 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you're here as a Trump supporter, God bless you. Yeah, we love folks who are going to vote for him. We love folks who don't understand why we're not supporting him. God bless them. And they need to turn off Fox News. But anyway, some people have gotten to the point where they loved President Biden, but he still was the vaccine for the disease of that last administration in the White House by saying simply, I will step down. So I thank President Biden for his moment of feminism.
Yes.
And under his watch, we didn't have a January 6th, I'll just say.
Right.
But this morning, my I'm with her is not just about our vice president. This sermon is about the excellent opportunity to acknowledge and live into the acceptance of women leadership.
Amen.
So this morning, this late in my sermon, I'm including dynamic women who have sought after and taken the sledgehammer to our patriarchal presidency. I include this morning Representative Shirley Chisholm, who was born November 30th, 1924, and died in 2005. Wow. She lived a long time. Yes. She's an accomplished author, a representative, and you may not have known this because she became quite famous because a black woman decided she would run for president in 1972. I was 3 years old in 1972. And when she stepped down from her position, guess who took her place? Geraldine Ferraro. How about it? We need to put a plaque in that seat in the House of Representatives. Geraldine Ferraro, she lived from August 26, 1935 to March 26, 2011. And I will give a little bit of attention to the Secretary of State, Clinton, and of course, our dear Vice President, Kamala Harris. Ms. Ferraro said, Representative Ferraro said, by choosing a woman to run for your nation's second highest office, she was running for Vice President, you send a powerful signal to all Americans. There are no doors we cannot unlock. We will place no limits on achievement. 1984. And Cindy, thank you for making me even younger when I arrived here. But I was grown, just barely. Maybe not mentally, but chronologically. I was 24 when I got to Atlanta. According to Lila Cole, with the Smithsonian Smithsonian Magazine at the time, 1984, national politics was even more of an old boys club than it is today. Out of the 535 voting members of Congress, there were only 24 women. And can you imagine the discussion about a woman being on the ticket? Remember it? It was nasty. How dare she? No governors were women in 1984. That's not that long ago. By those standards, the notion of a female vice president was audacious. There's no way, Ferraro herself said, with typical candor. And at a closed meeting at the National Women's Caucus 3 months earlier, any presidential candidate who is going to choose a woman as a running mate won't do so unless he's 15 points behind in the polls. You have to be careful what you say. That's exactly what happened. In the Democratic attempt to unseat President Ronald Reagan, the former Vice President walks Mondale, lagging by some 12 to 19 points, selected Ferraro as his running mate. The election ended poorly for the Democrats. Reagan and his Vice President George W. Bush won in a rout, with all but one state voting for the incumbent. But it happened. Ferraro's candidacy, however, showed the public that a woman could campaign stride for national office. It would not be until 24 years later. So all those little girls, all those folks who felt like little girls, were good and grown before they saw another woman run for the office. It was when Senator John McCain chose Alaska Governor Sarah Palin as his running as 2008. We can't leave her out of the story. Even though we'd have rather had Tina Fey. But anyway. And now, 12 years after Palin, former Vice President Joe Biden chose Kamala Harris as his running mate. And she makes the second Democratic woman to become a vice presidential nominee. And now, the change. We've lived to see the change. And we've already had a black president. Hallelujah. When you were in grade school like me, you didn't think this was going to happen. Did you? I don't see any hands. I'll take an argument, but I sure didn't think so. Because if you looked at the portraits, it looked like me. And it happened. I want to celebrate this moment, y'all. If you'll take just a moment in time and step back, not long in history, just a month ago. Were you nervous?
Yes.
I was. After that debate, was like, Joe, I love you. But there comes a time. And that debate tape would have been the center point of the candidacy.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's something bigger going on though, y'all. Because she was standing right there. And you think she can't debate? I'm with her. I'm with Ferraro this morning, and I'm with Shirley Chisholm, who said, you do not make progress by standing on the sidelines whimpering and complaining. Uh-oh. She said you make progress by implementing ideas. She ran for the Democratic nominee, as I said, in 1972, when Vice President Harris was 8 years old. But 8 is an interesting number. Asked our dear mom here. Wasn't that long ago when they were 8. But 8 is when you have a consciousness about who you are and you start to be impressed by what you see around you. In my mind, Kamala Harris saw on the TV Shirley Chisholm. May not have understood the whole thing, but understood that black lady is running for office. I hope that her mother was a supporter of Shirley Chisholm. Or at least thought, wow, she's daring to do it. And I hope she showed her little girl something about Shirley Chisholm. That's my fantasy. There's a lot of work to be done to make sure that our leaders reflect the people they are supposed to represent. The more diverse a group of decision makers is, the more informed the decision will be. Well. Until we have reached full representation, we all should understand we're falling short of the ideals of our country. That's our new president speaking, y'all. Can you imagine? The conclusion has something to do with who you put in the discussions of the solution. Like it changed when women entered the workforce full force. Had to change. I'm supporting Harris and her running mate because we are not in the ruins of the American project yet.
Yes.
If we keep going the way we are, if we dare allow Project 2025, but we're not there yet. And we're in need of a woman to come and lead us, not clean up. We're not so bad that we have to have a black woman come and clean up like we've done historically. Huh? We're not hiring her as a maid or a babysitter, as president, y'all. We need capable, strong, experienced leaders who are ready to stand for something other than their ego. And as I say, I want you to imagine the feminine power this morning that has influenced your development. personal development. I could preach for another hour about the women who made Duncan Duncan. And how in my history, they stood up and said something like racism doesn't have a place here. Like, you're a young black boy, you need to get your stuff together so that you can take us where we have never gone. That was Kathy Brown in my elementary school. I want you to imagine the teachers, the supervisors, the support staff, the restaurateurs, not just the waitresses, the women who own the restaurant, the women who supported you through difficulty, the women who stood beside you when you didn't know which way you were going to go. Or maybe they had already broken through and they were where you were headed. And some of y'all are those women sitting right here, because you were the first to arrive at the boys' club when you got there. Amen. And we thank you. We're talking about the women who built institutions right here in Atlanta that changed the course of your life. And I'm mentally attempting to crowd Vice President Harris with a conflagration, yes, I said conflagration, of women in leadership so that she doesn't have to be perceived this morning as a savior. She doesn't have to be the only woman who can. She's not. But she is the woman history is calling on right now. And she's ready and able. And she was chosen, and it's come. Not perfection. No. We don't need perfection. It doesn't exist, by the way. I hate to tell you. That'll disappoint a lot of folks on the left. That's not what we need. But we need appropriate and able. And it sure ain't on that other ticket. And if you support that other ticket, I'm willing to listen briefly. How about like the women who supported Reverend Lanier Clance and started this great institution? While I'm going there, I'm going to briefly slide over, but I'll be back. I'm not to the point where I just get lost. I hope that Vice President Harris is not in any way, shape, form, or fashion suffering from the imposter syndrome. Out of onus to the brilliance of Dr. Clarence.
Kamala's got joy.
How about it? She doesn't have to feel like she's in the wrong place. Because see, Shirley Chisholm could have had a little bit of imposter syndrome. The Italian lady, Miss Ferraro, could have had a little bit of imposter syndrome. But in 2024, we don't need that. You're already vice president. Just slide over in the next seat. I'll give you my last statement of what may be possible someday. Someday, an out queer person will be on the ticket. Someday, our states will be governed by out transgender and sexually diverse people holding public office. Oops, Duncan, they're already there. Someday, one of those people will be a transgender woman with no military experience. And at that point in our humanity, we will honor the individual who can lead, not be so concerned about our participation in the futility of war. Doesn't that make you feel different? Vote.
Yes.
Register to vote. And I know y'all are already registered. If you're not, keep your mouth shut. You have until October 5th. Register to vote. And if you are registered, wherever you're registered, because they intend on taking it by any means necessary, check your registration today.
Yes.
You don't have to remember a thing I said, except check your registration today. When did I say check it? Today, thank you. Because after he lost that last election in Georgia, a battleground state, they eliminated tens of thousands of registered voters. Don't wait till you get to the polls to find out your name ain't on the list. Check your registration. Check your friend's registration. Check your mama's registration. This is a matter of life and death.
Yes.
Because I'm with her. Amen. I'm so grateful for my long-standing friendship with my ex-neighbor, Cindy. Thank you. You did a wonderful job. Thank you. Our closing words are from Secretary of State Clinton. That was her highest office held, right?
Yes.
Can I just say something real quick? There's a movie called Shirley with Regina King starring.
Yes.
I think it's on Netflix.
Yes.
She said there's a movie on Netflix that chronicles Shirley Chisholm's life, starring none other than Regina King, who is a powerhouse of her own right.
Yes.
Talk about women power. Secretary Clinton says, you have to be true to yourself. You have to be enough in touch with who you are and with what you want now. You want to live, and what is important to you to make your decisions based on that. And sometimes it's very difficult. Can you imagine how she feels now? Y'all, thank you for having me back. God bless you.
Those were our closing words, so now there's nothing left but singing. This time it's going to be in the pink book, page 116, Live and Let Be.
By Janet Nelson, well known here. I've also been friends with Janice since the late 70s and played a lot of music with her. This is a profound existentialist song.
116.
116.
116. 168.
And you may not know the melody, it doesn't have it here. Just shout it out. I'll try to, represent it. It's been said that love is something like that. It's been said that love is blind. It's been said that love is blind. But with time I'm beginning to find the more I love, the better I see. Just wanna live and learn to let be. Just wanna live and learn to let be. Look with the innocent eyes of love and become a child who sees beyond walls of frustration, walls of defeat, into a boundless garden complete. You are a garden complete. It's been said that love is blind. It's been said that love is blind. But with time I'm beginning to find the more I love, the better I see. Just wanna live and learn to let be. Just wanna live and learn to let be. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's impossible to live in a world so despair and so cold. Little children dying, their bellies are crying. Now just live more simply and spread the wealth around. Spread the wealth, yes, spread it around. It's been said that love is blind. It's been said that love is blind. But with time I'm beginning to find the more I love, the better I see. Just wanna live and learn to let be. Just wanna live and learn to let be. The wind's my sister, the rain's my brother, the sky my father, the earth my mother. Hold us, rock us in your embrace. Teach us to make better use of your grace. It's been said that love is blind. It's been said that love is blind. But with time I'm beginning to find the more I love, the better I see. Just wanna live and learn to let be. Just wanna